Hello, everyone. This is Gary Wilson, and welcome to this week's podcast, Real Estate Investing for Professional Men and Women. Who is you? Typically, dentist, engineer, owning your own, consulting business, teachers, firemen, pilots. Welcome aboard. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. This is on 75 some odd channels: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and the theme is this: while we do invest, that's really it's like what we do to provide passive income to give us the lifestyle we want. So if you're a dentist, you don't have to fear being stuck behind a chair when you're 60, 65 years old. And we do invest honorably and ethically in our areas. It's win-win for everybody: the owners, the tenants, the neighborhoods. Everybody wins, and long term, you will profit way more by doing it this way. So I'm not against no money down financing. I've done a lot of it, but it's not. It has its place. It's just not every place. My endeavor is to help you get on a cash basis so that you can use creative purchasing techniques strategically that put you in control. So you can do things like One Life Lives, which is what we're here about today. So I've got a guest named Tim Rhode. He and I are in the same mastermind group, known each other for probably 5 years now, and brothers from another mother, similar backgrounds, and he's helped a lot of people. So I want to introduce Tim. Tim, thanks for taking your valuable time to share your time and your expertise with the group here. I really appreciate you doing this, man.
Hey, Gary, thanks for having me on. We're going to have some fun.
Okay, cool. Hey, just to get started, provide a little context, like who's Tim Rhode? Some people probably have heard of you through the efforts you've been involved in over the years, but for those who don't, just kind of give them a broad brushstroke and it'll give us some context, and from there we can go into some content,
Okay, where you might know me from if you've listened to shows like Gary, I helped start a mastermind group called GoBundance, and GoBundance is healthy, wealthy, generous people who choose to lead epic lives, and that's a high-level mastermind. And I also created a nonprofit called One Life Fully Lived. It's the number one, onelifefullylived.org. GoBundance is gobundance.com, and they're both centered around just figuring out who in the heck are you, where do you fit in, and how can you play this game full out, this magnificent life we are all blessed to live. And as we know, a lot of people right now aren't living at that level. So that's what the entities I've been a part of creating help do, Gary. So
awesome.
That's who I am. Yeah.
Well, it's good stuff. I've known you for a while. We've had a lot of great conversations, and I know people that have worked with you, and it's always a broad smile and a lot of positive feedback. So I'm glad to have you on board here. So if you could, let's talk a little bit about we'll start at the beginning. You and I had similar backgrounds, real estate, we're brokers and investors too. And what would you say, or how would I put this? Knowing that's the context, maybe describe that, because I want people to realize that really isn't or wasn't your end game. It was the vehicle, it's the foundation upon which you're able to launch these other things that allow you to give back. But it all starts with us building ourselves so that we can be greater contributors to the world. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe just talk about that. You were working with some great guys and brokers, you started investing, and maybe give an example or two, and then we can move into what that allowed you to do,
Sounds great. Well, so I got off to a late start in life. I never went to college, barely graduated high school. I got started selling real estate after an illustrious grocery career. So at 25, I got into the business. I was pretty good at it from the start. I'm not shy. I cared. I hustled. I worked hard. How you talked about doing things ethically. I'm proud. I sold 2,500 homes over 15 years. Have bought and sold hundreds on my own account, and I've never been sued. And I'm really proud, think about that. I've bought refrigerators. I've sat down with a lot of people and fixed them. But I think that's why I was successful listing and selling real estate, because I hope I can say this. I gave a shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was previously a grocery clerk making 30 grand a year. It's costing us 15,000 a year to live. So I start making 70, 120, 180, 320. I think I topped out at 450 my expenses went up from 15 to 20 to 25 to 30. I think I topped out at 60. So I'm there making 450, costing 60. I learned I didn't pay any attention in school, had no use for the periodic tables or all the crap go down my throat, but I cared about getting somewhere. I don't know why, but I just wanted to, I was about being financial secure in my old age and not being a burden to my kids. But because I played the game so well and had a very high risk tolerance and just threw it out there over and over in an ascending Cali market, I was able to retire basically at 40 years old, financially free, had turned over my Kiyosaki game board and got to ask the question few of us get to: now what? And Gary, you know this question. If I had not all, but if I had enough money that I could now just depend on my investing guile and just wake up every day and go, what do I want to do? And what do I want, just a whole new canvas to paint. What would you do? And that's what One Life and GoBundance are all about, is helping people, ask that question, freaking get there, and then ask the question again.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome. So one of those things and obviously GoBundance is turned into an amazing organization with great people from all over the world. And I've been blessed to be part of that from the early days. But let's talk a little bit about One Life, because you've been able to leverage what you've done early to building that financial foundation for yourself, which basically bought your freedom to pursue things really fulfilling for you. And GoBundance certainly is one of them. But One Life kind of sprung out around that same time. And it was kind of part of the contribution part of what we do is as human beings. And people who don't understand this, I always say, I don't know if I can explain to you in words why I do what I do. It's fulfilling. Because people always say, well, why are you teaching if you're so good at all this? Why are you teaching? Why are you just doing what you're doing? I'm thinking, well, I'm entrepreneurial for one thing, so I'm constantly looking for that next thing. I also learned why I like to build businesses, I don't like to manage them. So it's more fun for me to build and sell or merge. But I guess what I'm getting at here is the teaching part is this thing I never anticipated, that giving back the service, it's like fulfillment that you can't equate in terms of dollars. It's like when you teach your child how to ride a bike without training wheels. They take the training wheels off and the child's smiling, but if you look in the video, it's the mom or dad like this with their arms up, yelling for victory. That's the feeling I get. So let's go back to you and talk about One Life, because I'm pretty sure when you help a young person see their pathway of life through business, you probably get that same sensation.
Yeah, absolutely do. So the whole concept is, once you get to the top of that mountain and you can do anything you want to do, I did for a while. I did what I call getting the goods in the woods and just hiked and skied and biked and played and created my own sport called Riking, and just really enjoyed that period of kind of figuring out what's the next chapter of my life. And I always knew it involved contribution, of giving back. My dad was a teacher. So around 2011, I was out with a good friend of mine, Christopher Lockhead, out on the mountain. And I just talked about this vision. My dad had just recently passed, and another great mentor of mine who I had a lot of respect for, who had his own nonprofit. And I thought, and I was also angry at where we were as a society and how, people were pointing fingers at others about why their life isn't good, and not, we call it eating your broccoli, of doing the inner work and figuring out, who am I and where am I going with all of this? So I thought of where I had started with little knowledge and where I'd gotten to, and all the things I did that helped me create my One Life Fully Lived, and all the friends I knew that were living amazing lives. And then looking at this big chasm on the other side of people who didn't even know that any of this was possible, that they could live a fulfilling life. So I came up with an idea. What if I could connect all of my baller friends in, this is our core teachings: vision planning, relationships, finances, and wellness, the basic inner coding that makes up a fulfilling life. What if I could have my friends who have mastered this stuff in all these areas get with my friends who, and people I don't know who have never been exposed to this? What would that look like? So we had our first conference 8 years ago in my little town of Portola, California, and Christopher Lockhead blew them away and said, you either suck, you don't suck, or you're legendary. And I know that's harsh, and this is what he said. I know that's harsh, but think of the movies you go to. They either suck, they don't suck, or they're legendary. Think of dinner. Yeah. People judge you the same way. So people left there and go, hey, Christopher, I'm between doesn't suck and on my way to legendary. And I just knew, we had captured a spark. So it's just slowly, organically grown, just like GoBennett, with an amazing foundation, both of these organizations, because they get our heart and they know we care. Yeah. So anyway, it's taken on a life of its own. And now we're 8th conference, October 12th and 13th in Long Beach, California. We have like Jeff Hoffman, the founder of Priceline, billionaire, watch his TED Talk, and just Christopher Lockhead and Cody Sanchez and Rhonda Smith, and experts in all areas of life, how to get started in all of this and how to do it at a mastery level. So we have breakout sessions of beginning relationships and mastery relationships, beginning finance. We have Andrew Cushman and David Green teaching mastery finance. These are, these names, Gary. They're legends that started with nothing and have built their own empires, and are there the whole weekend just hanging out, sharing their gift. And get this, the ticket, our most expensive ticket price is $299, because none of them, we don't pay any of them. They pay us to come or let us auction off their time because they love what we're doing so much. So it's an amazing event. Speaks to the kind of work we're doing out in the community.
Well, we'll do this just for everybody listening, because I've got a feeling we're piquing some interest here. I know people personally who've gone to your events, but from a third person's perspective, like a participant's perspective, what can they expect, or what should they expect, or what they sign up, they show up, and you kind of take us through the event, because I've seen them grow over the years, and you're right. Like, just a real quick caveat here. Andrew Cushman, David Green, obviously I know them personally, and Andrew Cushman, when I met him, we like instant blood brothers. I mean, he was a surfer. I was a surfer. He's a good surfer. I'm a very poor surfer, but we had that in common. And we're talking. He's a former engineer, and I'm, of course, coming from a technical background, talking about our real estate investments. And I'd had a portfolio of several hundred units. At one point, it was several thousand in the early days. And my first property was half of a house. Andrew Cushman's first property was a 94-unit apartment complex. I mean, his field of vision was like way out here. He just, that thing you mentioned earlier, Tim, about when you were first getting going, you were a hustler. You kept getting out there, and you really did care. And it's like, there's a common theme I recognize is, it's not like we're aware that we could actually fail. It's not part of what we're thinking. We're just thinking we're going to succeed. That's why we're taking this action. It doesn't occur to us that we can fall flat on our faces. And maybe it does. I mean, that just seems to be a common theme with entrepreneurs. But back to the original question, let's say, a dentist is listening to this, or a teacher or engineer or fireman, policeman, and they're intrigued and they want to participate. What can you kind of paint a picture for them? Because I want them to take you up on this offer. It's amazing. I didn't realize it was that affordable.
Right. Well, we make it that affordable so you will jump on a plane. You know what I mean? That's what we say, because that we kind of make up for the cost of the flights and stuff by it being that cheap. So first of all, go to onelifefullylive.org, events, click on conferences, and you'll see it. Go down and check out the lineup and check out each presenter. This thing should cost $2,500, you guys. And like I said, these presenters hang out all weekend, and they're just there. That just giving and letting you. I tell them from Friday through Sunday to let people just share your gift with them, share your knowledge. So that's what they're there for. So it's who's it for? It's for your youngins as young as 4 years old, 4 to 18. We have different sessions led by Brother James and the Fambundance crew who have been together for 4 years. And imagine your kids getting exposed to young people who are already running the business of running your life. If you know the book, The E-Myth, think of that. Think of the business of running your business. Well, think of One Life as like the business of running your life. So these kids have been at this for 4 years. You know, David Osborne's daughter, Bella, has owned Moo Balloons since she was 4 years old, and now she's 9 and knows her, you know, growth, what her unit cost is, her growth margins. She's been in like 3 Shark Tanks. And Carissa Daly, who's going to be there, is 15. She has 5 income streams. And so these kids are helping your kids 4 to 18 just learn this different way of living where you take action and figure out who and think of whether it's you or them. Who am I? Where do I fit? And how can I play my game full out? That's the question permeating everybody's mind this weekend. And we all get together once a year and we learn, grow, and connect with a community that cares, that's rooting for you, that's not jealous, that knows people that connect you to them. We're like the point guard that throws this, and you're the power forward, and we put it over the hoop so you can slam it. That's what we're all about. And it's a very unique, organization that I'm. You can tell I'm really proud of what we do, and you can tell this is. And it's interesting because I said earlier, this is who I am. It's not who I am. Who I am is, everything, the entirety of my life. My wife and I are about to go out on a houseboat with her family celebrating her mom's 80th birthday. And, anybody listening gets the rich fullness of life. The challenge is putting yourself in a position where you can do that and enjoy it. And that's what our community is all about, is mastery of self so you can live full out.
Well, I just like the fact that the focus is on children at such a young age, because for everybody listening here, this is the stuff they're not getting at school, okay? Yeah. They're not getting at school. And a great example is, Lee and Jocola and his children. And he told me the story one time of his daughter going to school one day and a teacher ridiculing her because she had missed a lot of school, but she's a young entrepreneur. And she just made had great success on a transaction. And the teacher was telling her, you need to show up. You got to do the, traditional thing. And she's thinking, I just made more money in one deal than this lady did in her entire year of salary. And she's trying to tell me how to live my life,
And I'm she's 16.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm not knocking all the teachers. It's the system. It's not designed to create independent, free people. It's designed to create employees, And if it wasn't for people who were creators and building businesses, there wouldn't be anybody for these employees to work for. So just a crazy dichotomy. But I remember thinking that's an amazing example of what's possible with all of this. So boy, if you're a fireman or teacher or policeman or pilot and you've got teenagers, young children in grade school, come together and you'll be able to meet people your age group, like people like Tim and I and guys and gals in their 30s who are even doing better than we are. And have all your kids meet all of their kids. I mean, I can't think of a better way for you to spend a weekend than helping your child prepare themselves for an independent, free future. Okay. Any case, that's I don't know if I can put it more passionately than that, but that's amazing.
Let me break that down. So we have like the it's taught by Brother James and a couple other adults, but also by the 14 to 18-year-old kids are teaching the 8 to 14, and the 8 to 14 are teaching the 4. And it's just a really cool atmosphere that your kids are in a very G-rated place where, like you were saying, Gary, they're learning stuff they never learned in school. And on the other side of the coin, if you're listening to this and you're that dentist and you're single and you're thinking, well, that's great for families and stuff. Let me tell you how good this thing is. I had a professional speaker who gets paid $25,000 a year, and we have all we have for him is a breakout session, and we were going to give him 2 breakout sessions. They said, only give me one. I don't want to miss the other sessions.
Yeah.
Think of a speaker saying, I'd rather go learn from your other masters there than speak myself and get my message out. That tells you the quality. We had like 230 people apply for 40 spots. And what's amazing is probably another 50 of those 230 are coming anyway, just because they know they're gonna learn new things. They're gonna grow their business, grow their whole life, and they're gonna connect with people that are gonna, just be that person that changed their life. So jump on a plane. It's $299. Go to onelifefullylived.org. So thank you.
Oh, hey, what's the location again for this next one?
It's in Long Beach, California, right next to Disneyland. If you bring the family out, come early, stay late. We've got a hotel room block on there that's we've had them extend it twice, so we've more than hit how many rooms. So yeah, please make sure to register right away, and I would love to have you there. So one life.
Well, that's awesome. You're a great example of a great human being doing a lot for a lot of people, man. It's refreshing for me to know people like you, because early on, a lot of us had this programming coming up in our childhood. Like my family, one side was living basically month to month, the other side was pretty wealthy, but the wealthy ones, the wealth was developed pre-Depression era, early 1900s. And so when it came to the Depression, they made it through okay, but they had the scarcity mentality. Like, you got to keep this stuff to yourself and don't share it. And on the other side, I got, well, they're lucky. Rich people are lucky, and all this negative programming. So you're offering a way for people to get some very positive and effective programming early in life that's going to serve them well and their families. So I would encourage people to really consider that. But also I want to kind of bring it back full circle, Tim. So let's say we're somebody listening here. I know John Claddy, former New Jersey State Trooper, and was a big person in Mike McCarthy's team, regional director, and he's invested too. I think he was at the One Life Fully Lived. When did he? I forget what one it was. Maybe it was in Philadelphia a year and a half ago. But in any case, say there's another police officer listening to this, or a dentist, or a fireman, or engineer, and they've got children, and they're thinking, okay, well, I'm busy, I'm working, I want to invest in real estate, but I like the way this is sounding. So if you could kind of paint a picture, like, let's say there were you were maybe 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and here's what I'm going with this. We both met Robert Kiyosaki, which was really neat, and he has this famous saying: don't go pay for the car, buy a house that's going to generate rent that's going to pay for the car. So, if your thing is you're trying to get to the next level and you want to have passive income, and you want to be able to do these things more, maybe you go buy a duplex and use the income from the duplex to pay for your next trip, something like that. But if you could kind of go back to the beginning and tie this forward, because I want people to see it really is, there's alignment between us and our children, and everything we're doing, they're observing. And that's why when we invest, we don't want to be on high blood pressure medication and resort to self-medicating to deal with the stress and stuff like that. We want to be healthy people, although just like our motto is healthy, wealthy, generous people seek to live epic lives. Whereas a way you can do that, and what you offer is a way for them to do that, to contributing gives you fulfillment that you can't buy. So in any case, I'm kind of rambling here, but if you could kind of tie that back in for someone who's observing, and kind of maybe give them like a path to follow, because they can do the giving and the receiving by following the model you leave us with your life,
Right. Hey, well, we offer two other tools that may be of service.
Okay.
First of all, if you're mentoring somebody who's just getting out in the world, and say you can't come to our conference, but you're interested in what we're doing and you want to teach those you love, life's basics, the stuff you should have been taught in school but weren't, please go to Amazon and buy our One Life Roadmap Journal, which is, and it's the number One Life Roadmap, all one word, journal. And it's the inner coding to your most fulfilling life. It'll help those you want to mentor. It's a year's worth of work on vision planning. Where am I going with all this? Relationships with yourself. Who's my posse? Who's my mentors? Finances. How can I earn more? How can I monitor? How can I invest wisely? And wellness. How can I be healthy in my mind, body, and spirit to rock this one life I'm supposed to live? So for the basic person, buy that roadmap journal and help them with it. If you want to take your life to another level, buy the new book by GoBennett called Tribe of Millionaires. Go to tribeofmillionaires.com, and this will give you 6 tools that'll help you dial in, kind of like what I just said, but at a mastery level, how to take it to a whole new level and figure out who's your tribe. And maybe you're GoBennett's material. And maybe you want to check us out at GoBennett.com and join our tribe, whether you're whatever your sex or orientation, we're for everybody. So go to GoBennett.com, check it out. But to answer your question, I want to give value to the, let's say you're a cop and you're working your beat and you're working your ass off. Here's my advice to you. Play your game full out, and let's just talk about the financial piece, okay? But what you want to do is look at those ABCs. How can I earn more? And I don't suggest you do the David Green method and go work 120 hours a week and live off $1,000 a month. But he is somebody to emulate. He did this. He's a cop. Read all about David Green. Check him out. Greene. He's a good model for you. He's a cop who retired by 35, and now he's financially free and he runs Bigger Pockets podcasts. But what David did is he increased his A. He learned how to invest. He worked hard, lots of overtime, invested wisely. He's the biggest tightwad. He and my son Chris live as lean as I've ever met people, and they play ironclad defense. And sometimes that can be a curse, by the way. You got that poverty mentality you were talking about, that scarcity mentality. That's a whole nother conversation. And then your C, learn how to invest wisely. And by listening to this podcast, this says you're investing your time and your learning. You guys, I never went to a day of college. I spent literally, I don't know the number, but at somewhere between $250,000 to $1 million on my personal education. I have 2 coaches right now. I'm about to turn 60. I spend, I don't even know what I pay for them. My wife pays it, but I probably spend $2,000 a month on coaching. And they're amazing coaches, and I'm always upping my game, and that's what this is. This is the basics. This is eating your broccoli, and that's what we do in the One Life community. So come out to our conference, buy our books, and Gary, thanks for having me on, bro.
You're welcome. Listen, enjoy your day with your wonderful wife and mother-in-law on 80th birthday. That's a big number, and we'll have you on again, Tim. And by the way, I'm going to look up the information myself because I'm trying to figure out that's actually Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. But there's always the way life is, though. It's always you keep going forward regardless. So I'm going to figure something out there. But for everybody listening, I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you for providing your time and valuable experience and giving people a possible vision for themselves, for their future, and how they can really enjoy more of this life and be more fulfilled. So and everybody listening, again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Real estate investing for professional men and women. And also, if you want to join the community, go to myinvestmentservices.com and you can be part of the community there. We're 1,000 strong all over the U.S. and Canada, and now even the Bahamas, and I think some folks are in Europe too. Almost all typically professionals, almost always business owners. And the cool thing is about it, we've got a lot of real estate agents trained to work with us. We've personally trained them one-on-one to work with us investors. They're certified to be investor agents. So make sure when you go invest, make sure you're working with the right kind of investor agent called investor agent. Ask them to show them their certification, because it'll make a huge difference, right? And put yourself in a position where you can maybe help a younger person, particularly your children, Learn from Tim, go to One Life Fully Live, and learn these skills early in life. Okay, don't let them get the negative program, get the positive programming, and I promise you, you'll be smiling when they're in college and they have kids. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Tim. God bless you and your families, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.